Seller Biocon, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw's Biotech empire. In 1978, a 25-year-old woman knocked on the doors of India's banking system with nothing but a revolutionary idea and unshakable determination. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw wanted to start a biotechnology company in her garage with just 10,000 rupees, roughly $500 today. The bankers laughed her out of their offices, not because her business plan was flawed, but because she was a woman trying to enter an industry that didn't even exist in India yet. They told her that biotechnology was too risky, too complex, and frankly, not something a woman could handle. What they didn't realize was that they had just dismissed the future founder of India's largest biotechnology company. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw would go on to build Biocon into a global empire worth over $3 billion, revolutionizing healthcare not just in India, but across the world. This is the story of how a garage startup became a biotechnology giant, and how one woman's refusal to accept no for an answer changed the face of Indian industry forever. Kiran's journey into biotechnology began long before that fateful day in 1978. Born into a middle-class family in Bangalore, she was the daughter of the head brewmaster at United Breweries, India's largest beer manufacturer. Her father's work exposed her to fermentation science from an early age, planting the seeds of her future empire. She pursued her undergraduate degree in zoology at Bangalore University, graduating as the top student in her class. But when she applied to continue her studies in medicine, she was rejected not because of her grades, but because of her gender. Medical schools in India had strict quotas limiting female students, believing that women would eventually leave their careers to raise families. Frustrated but not defeated, Kiran pivoted to fermentation science and malting, following somewhat in her father's footsteps. She enrolled at Ballarat College in Melbourne, Australia, becoming one of the first women to study brewing and malting. When she returned to India in 1975 with her degree, she applied to United Breweries, expecting her qualifications and family connection to secure her a position. Instead, she was told that the breweries weren't suitable workplaces for women. The very company where her father had built his career wouldn't hire his equally qualified daughter. Rejection became the catalyst for revolution. In 1978, while working for a brief period in Scotland, Kiran met Les Auchincloss, an Irish entrepreneur who was looking to set up enzyme manufacturing operations in India. Enzymes were biological catalysts used in various industries, from textiles to food processing, and India's large agricultural base made it an ideal location for enzyme production. Auchincloss offered Kiran the opportunity to head his Indian operations, but when he couldn't secure the necessary funding, he suggested something even more ambitious. Why didn't she start her own company? He would provide the technical know-how, and she would build the business from scratch. This partnership led to the birth of Biocon India, named after Biocon Biochemicals Limited, Auchincloss's company in Ireland. On a sweltering day in 1978, in the garage of her rented house in Bangalore, Kiran officially founded Biocon with just 10,000 rupees in capital. She had no employees, no laboratory equipment, and no customers. What she did have was an unwavering belief that biotechnology could solve real-world problems and improve millions of lives. The early days of Biocon were a masterclass in bootstrapping and persistence. Kiran's garage served as everything: laboratory, office, and manufacturing facility. She couldn't afford to hire experienced scientists, so she recruited fresh graduates from local colleges, training them herself in fermentation technology and enzyme production. Her first major breakthrough came when she developed a process to produce papain, an enzyme extracted from papaya that was used in meat tenderizers and medical applications. The beauty of this choice was strategic. India had abundant papaya cultivation, giving Biocon access to cheap raw materials, while the global demand for papain was growing steadily. Within her first year, she had secured her first export order, shipping papain to a customer in the United States. This early success validated her business model and provided the cash flow necessary to expand operations. By 1980, Biocon had moved out of the garage and into a proper facility with a team of 12 employees and annual revenues of 70,000 rupees. More importantly, Kiran had proven that an Indian biotechnology company could compete on the global stage. The 1980s marked Biocon's transformation from a small enzyme manufacturer to a diversified biotechnology company. Kiran recognized that to build a sustainable business, she needed to move beyond commodity enzymes and into higher value products. She began investing heavily in research and development, establishing one of India's first private biotechnology research laboratories. Her team developed proprietary processes for producing a range of industrial enzymes, including pectinases for fruit juice clarification and cellulases for textile processing. But Kiran's real vision was much larger. She wanted to use biotechnology to manufacture life-saving medicines. In 1987, she made a pivotal decision to enter pharmaceutical manufacturing, focusing on statins, cholesterol-lowering drugs that were becoming increasingly important in treating heart disease. This move required massive investments in new facilities and regulatory compliance, but it positioned Biocon at the forefront of the generic pharmaceuticals revolution. By the end of the decade, Biocon had become India's largest enzyme manufacturer and was making significant inroads into pharmaceutical production. Annual revenues had grown to over 10 million rupees, and the company employed more than 200 people. The 1990s brought both tremendous opportunities and existential challenges for Biocon. India's economic liberalization in 1991 opened up new markets and attracted foreign investment, but it also brought intense competition from multinational corporations. Kiran realized that to survive and thrive in this new environment, Biocon needed to become a research-driven organization capable of developing innovative drugs, not just manufacturing existing ones. She made the bold decision to pivot the company toward biopharmaceuticals, particularly focusing on insulin and other diabetes medications. This choice was both strategic and personal. Diabetes was becoming an epidemic in India, affecting over 30 million people, yet most diabetes medications were expensive imports that few could afford. Kiran saw an opportunity to develop affordable biosimilar insulin that could serve not just India but the entire developing world.
The technical challenges were immense. Insulin is a complex protein that requires sophisticated fermentation and purification processes, and the regulatory requirements for bringing insulin to market are among the most stringent in the pharmaceutical industry. Undeterred, Kiran invested millions of dollars in building state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities and hired some of the world's leading biotechnology experts. By the early 2000s, Biocon had achieved something remarkable. It had become the first Indian company to successfully manufacture and commercialize biosimilar insulin. The development process had taken over a decade and required investments of more than $50 million, but the results were transformative. Biocon's insulin was not only clinically equivalent to the leading branded versions, but cost 40% less, making it accessible to millions of diabetes patients who previously couldn't afford treatment. The success of insulin opened doors to international markets, and Kiran began forming strategic partnerships with pharmaceutical companies in Europe and the United States. In 2004, she achieved another milestone by taking Biocon public on the Indian stock exchanges. The initial public offering was one of the most successful in Indian biotechnology history, raising over $100 million and valuing the company at nearly $1 billion. On the day of the IPO, Kiran became India's richest woman and one of the wealthiest self-made female entrepreneurs in the world. More importantly, the public offering provided Biocon with the capital needed to accelerate its research and development programs and expand its global footprint.
The success of the IPO marked the beginning of Biocon's most ambitious phase of growth. Kiran used the influx of capital to establish Syngene, a contract research subsidiary that provided drug discovery and development services to global pharmaceutical companies. This move was strategically brilliant. While Biocon continued developing its own pipeline of biosimilar and novel drugs, Syngene generated steady revenue by leveraging India's talented pool of scientists and engineers to conduct research for international clients. Major pharmaceutical companies like Bristol-Myers Squibb, Baxter, and Abbott began outsourcing significant portions of their research activities to Syngene, attracted by the combination of high-quality science and cost-effective operations. By 2010, Syngene had become one of the largest contract research organizations in Asia, with state-of-the-art facilities spanning over 3 million square feet and employing more than 3,000 scientists. Meanwhile, Biocon's pharmaceutical business continued expanding, with successful launches of biosimilar versions of several blockbuster cancer and autoimmune disease medications. The company's annual revenues exceeded $500 million, and its products were being sold in more than 75 countries worldwide. The 2010s represented Biocon's emergence as a truly global biotechnology powerhouse under Kiran's leadership. she made the strategic decision to focus on complex biosimilars and novel biologics for cancer treatment, areas where the scientific barriers to entry were high but the potential rewards were enormous. Biocon invested over $250 million in developing biosimilar versions of trastuzumab and bevacizumab, two of the world's most important cancer medications that cost patients thousands of dollars per treatment cycle. The development programs required years of clinical trials involving thousands of patients across multiple countries, but the results validated Kiran's vision. Biocon's biosimilars demonstrated equivalent efficacy to the original branded drugs while offering significant cost savings. In 2017, the company achieved a historic milestone by becoming the first Indian biotechnology company to receive approval from the United States Food and Drug Administration for a biosimilar cancer drug. This approval opened the massive American healthcare market to Biocon's products and established the company as a legitimate competitor to the world's largest pharmaceutical corporations. The following year, Kiran expanded Biocon's global reach even further by acquiring Pfizer's biosimilars business, instantly making Biocon one of the top 5 biosimilar companies in the world. As Biocon approaches its 5th decade of operations, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw's garage startup has evolved into something far beyond what anyone could have imagined in 1978. The company now operates manufacturing facilities across 3 continents, employs over 11,000 people, and generates annual revenues exceeding $1.5 billion. Biocon's medicines are used by millions of patients worldwide, from diabetes patients in rural India to cancer patients in sophisticated American hospitals. But perhaps Kiran's greatest achievement isn't measured in dollars or market capitalization. It's the transformation she brought to an entire industry and society. When she started Biocon, there were virtually no women in leadership positions in Indian biotechnology or pharmaceuticals. Today, nearly half of Biocon's workforce consists of women, including many in senior scientific and management roles. The company's success has inspired thousands of other women to pursue careers in science and entrepreneurship, fundamentally changing the gender dynamics of Indian industry. Kiran herself has become one of India's most influential business leaders, serving on the boards of numerous organizations and becoming a powerful advocate for entrepreneurship, gender equality, and affordable healthcare. Her journey from a rejected medical school applicant to the founder of a biotechnology empire proves that the most powerful force in business isn't capital or connections, but the refusal to accept limitations that others try to impose on your dreams. In an industry built on the promise of healing and innovation, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw didn't just build a company, she built a legacy that continues to save lives and inspire generations of entrepreneurs around the world.